What's up, guys? Welcome to the Mississippi Real Estate Podcast, hosted by Ryan Watson.
And I'm Trip Sproul, where it's all about real life, real talk, and real estate.
Join us as we dive into the stories, trends, and insider tips shaping the world of Mississippi real estate.
Whether you're buying, selling, investing, or you're just curious about the market, we've got all the insights you need to navigate with confidence. So if y'all are ready, let's get real.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the Mississippi Real Estate Podcast. Today, we have a very special guest, a good friend of mine, and soon to be a good friend of Tripp's. We have Zach Bridges. And what's up, man?
Not much. Appreciate y'all having me.
Glad to have you here, and we're excited to learn about you and your story. And
I'm pumped. I feel like we just had half a podcast before we started
recording. We just caught up a little bit before, but we said time out.
We got to stop.
Don't say anything else. Let's get this podcast started.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
well, here we are.
Thanks for spending some time this morning or midday with us. I know you're busy like everybody else, so
yes, sir.
Dig
Appreciate
into
y'all
it a little bit. Yeah, man.
Having me. This will be fun. Just hanging out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So let's jump right in. Who is Zach Bridges? Where are you from? You got a family, kids?
Born and raised. We want to know everything from birth to where you're at now. And so
people that don't know you.
Yep.
All right. Well, my name's Zach Bridges. I grew up in Pearl, Mississippi. As an adult, I committed a cardinal sin and moved to Brandon, Mississippi.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so
That wasn't a good idea.
I'm raising my family in Brandon, in 042 Brandon. And so
How many kids you got?
married my wife Taylor. I've got a 5-year-old Avery, a 3-year-old Allie, and a 6-week-old Mason.
Ooh,
6
okay.
weeks.
So,
Congratulations.
Yeah, man,
so you said
congrats.
I'm super busy right now, but actually I'm out on paternity leave. So
That's all right. That's still busy.
as
Yeah.
part of a federal employee, it's a great benefit. So, but yeah,
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Well,
so where are you a federal employee?
I do X-ray at the VA hospital here in Jackson.
that would I guess make sense why you were wearing scrubs on one of your videos.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Most of my videos, I didn't realize it, but I do wear scrubs. And I'm usually in the playroom office in my room with. You'll see pink doll houses and toys, and then my deer up on the wall. So it's kind of like a multi-use room.
That's all right. That's a family man room right there.
Yeah,
What that is.
That's right.
Yeah, we were watching a couple of things, and my wife was like, "I thought he was in real estate." I was like, "He is." And he's like, "Well, he's wearing scrubs." Like, maybe he just wears scrubs when he's lying around. I don't know. We'll find out tomorrow.
Yep.
So that's not all you do. You do what is that? You said radiology?
Yeah, X-ray tech full time. Also have my music. I play gigs on the weekends. And,
Yeah, I see stuff all the time. You're playing all around town and all over the place.
yep. I'm trying to cut back on the music a little bit, so I'm hoping real estate kind of
Well, you're good at it.
supplements that a little bit.
Don't cut back too much. You
Yeah.
make people sad.
I think I first met you at a wedding, and it's been years ago. And it was down at what do they call that place over there?
Was he singing in it?
He was the singer.
Oh,
He was
the
the
wedding
wedding singer.
singer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
plugging the movie.
Yeah.
It's over there on the Madison side, not the yacht club, but what's that other venue that's right there? The 2-story venue behind Coffee the Walk.
Producer,
whatever.
what's that?
North
I know what
Shore
you're
Landing
talking
or
about.
something.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it is. I think you were playing there, and you were. I think I was coming in. You were setting up. Me and you just got talking, but that was a while back ago.
Yeah, because I don't remember.
I was not memorable.
I don't even remember playing that venue. But
Oh yeah, well, I think that was. I think it was you, 100%. Yeah.
I've been doing music for about 12 years now. So
Did you get
It's
into
very-
music when you were like a? Are you like self-taught? How did you get into all that?
I've
Just explain
always my dad's real musical. You know, I've grown up, singing to the radio in the car and stuff. But I actually didn't start playing the guitar until I was 20. So,
all
yeah.
that finger picking you're doing.
I mean,
just learned
I
that
just
back-
know how to play well enough. For people that don't know how to play very well, they
To
think,
be better than
they
them.
think I'm doing something. But,
You fake it. You're just doing this, and they think you're hitting all the strings perfectly.
It sounds good though.
Yeah, if you notice my videos, I never show my hands. So.
That's
the
not
trick.
true. You
That's-
showed hands on
okay.
videos.
That's the trick. That's the trick.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, there's no somebody behind the scenes. It's actually you. I know
Yes,
you're not.
man. Yes,
You're
man.
just giving yourself. You're
Now
trying
there
to-
are a couple voice effects on TikTok that I do use, but it's just like a reverb type thing. So.
Yeah.
It just adds a little bit of little bit of extra to the voice.
Yeah.
Do you have any shows coming up soon that you want to plug? And
I have a little rotation. I'm playing Castlewoods this Friday. I usually play out at Cypress Point, either in the tavern or the garage. I play out.
The Cameron's garage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then out at Gibbs, I play pretty regular out there. So.
Oh, I seen you out there too.
Yeah.
Now it's coming back to
I'm
me.
out there quite a bit.
Man, we're friends and we didn't even know it yet.
I know.
That's awesome, man. Well, y'all go and check Zach out with his music and go hang out and just listen to him. He's really good.
He's really easy to find too on YouTube.
Really?
You just put in Zach Bridges and then whoop, pops up.
Well, there is another Zach Bridges, but he plays more spiritual keyboard music.
Yeah.
And we're physically different as well, so you'll be able to tell the difference.
I want to know more.
You got more beard.
I want to know more about. So you're from Pearl.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like we have had a lot of Pearl folks on, which is great. I think we talked about it in the past podcast. How it's a great
things come out of Pearl.
It's a great community, man. I didn't realize this till I got older, and I think now, like I appreciate the Pearl community. A lot I didn't know about it, but I also know that they know their people and they really stick together. So you Pearl Pirate High School?
Pearl Pirate.
So
class of 2008.
There you go.
That was awesome. Golly.
And you didn't start playing guitar at Pearl, which they have a huge music program.
Yeah, I was actually in the band my freshman year.
Okay, what'd you play in the band?
Trombone.
I was about to say, did you play the flute?
Nah. I played the trombone. I was pretty good at it. I was pretty good, but I ended up choosing baseball over the band. So, which that took me 2 years in junior college. So that's how we get to age 20. Yeah. Once I was done playing ball, I had to pick up something else.
What junior college did you go to play baseball for?
I went to Hines in Raymond. Okay. Back then, you used to get protected out of high school. You could only go to the community college in your district. So after my first year, I played about 4 innings total. And so they let me go, and then I ended up getting scholarship at Holmes.
Yeah.
In Goodman. So
you played there for?
Yeah, I played there for
what
my
position?
Sophomore year. I was a catcher.
Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Man, come down the train tracks and get right over.
That's a tough job in baseball.
It is. People don't realize. They think you just put the fat guy behind the plate, but
no,
that's not the case.
That is not.
No. Anybody that knows anything about baseball knows that that's a tough spot to be in right there.
Got to wear the gear and.
I loved it because you're in every play, every pitch.
You're in every play, every pitch.
They call you the quarterback of the infield because you're the one out there calling plays, who's going where.
No, I mean, I think we're at the point our kids are playing baseball, and there's when they grow up, there's stigmas and stereotypes about certain positions. But I'm like, I got to the point. I told my son when he's growing up, he's past all this now. I'm like, there's 9 positions on the field for a reason. They're all important. You know what I mean? If you're missing one of those links, you're going to get beat. So you can't just have a gap somewhere. That's why they have 9 positions.
Right.
But
it might be smarter to pick something like the outfield or the infield because you got 4 infielders, you got 3 outfielders. If you're not the best, then you got 2 other spots or 3 other spots. But if you're catcher, you're either going to be the best or you're going to be backup. Or you're going to be playing third base or right field or first base.
Did you ever talk smack to the batters when they came up?
Not really. I wasn't much of a smack talker.
Okay. Did you talk to them at all when they came up? Like, hey,
sometimes,
man, what's up?
Some of them would be. Some of those guys would talk smack to me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna steal on you when I get on first.
You'd be like, whatever, bro.
I say, go ahead, try it out.
Yeah. Good luck.
What about the umpires? Did they have some discussions with you? I always feel like there's more chatter. I played at high school, and I just didn't pay attention, But now I feel like my kid's going through youth ball, and it seems like that they're, and I do appreciate this, but in a lot of tournaments we've been playing, it seems like the umpires, like when the batters walk up, they've all been fist bumping each other. Good shows good sportsmanship, which I think is good to establish early. But when you get to a certain age, the trash talk comes out. So I didn't know if you had any of that.
We were always taught, when the start of the game, walk up, shake the ump's hand, tell them your name, ask them how you address them or whatever, what you want them to call you or what you want them to be called, basically.
Yeah.
How to address them.
Yeah.
And
be respectful.
Right. But there's a little banter, here and there. If you catch a pitch and it's a little off the plate, he'll be like, a little bit in and you'll get that one, that type of stuff.
Telling you how to frame it better.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. I love it. What really sucked is if you struck out or something and come back behind the plate, and then the umpire's talking crap to you about how you just struck out. But, yeah.
I think we talked about, me and some buddies were watching the College World Series, and we
Mm-hmm.
were talking about catchers, and like we felt like catchers should be like some of the best hitters because they're calling pitches. You feel like like if you're fetching some pitchers, like he's about to throw it low and in on me.
See, you can, from my perspective, I was not a great hitter. I had power.
Yeah.
I struck out about as much as I hit a home run. I
Yeah.
hit the two things I led my team in was home runs and strikeouts.
All right.
Yeah.
Babe Ruth.
And the reason
If you hit it, it was going out.
Yeah.
and my view on it is, when you're catching behind the plate, you're calling the pitch. You know what's coming.
Yeah.
When you're batting, you don't have. I mean, you can guess all you want, but if you don't see the ball out of his hand,
Yeah.
and pick up the spin on the ball,
There's still an art to
it's
that.
still
Yeah.
a guessing game.
Yeah.
Well, we just felt like when our conversation, catchers should have a little bit of an edge on that. Guess it's not true. Debunked
Yeah.
right here
Yeah.
on the podcast.
Now that's my personal belief. It may just be an excuse.
Yeah, no, it makes an
excuse for all my strikeouts.
I think it makes sense though, 100%.
So you're with Evans Premier Properties.
Yep.
So you sell real estate too. Obviously, that's why we got you on here today. But I guess what got you into real estate?
So Drew and Jessica Evans are Drew's my first cousin, and his
Okay.
wife Jessica's the broker.
Okay,
So,
yep.
So she's the boss. And,
Naturally.
yeah. So actually, I worked for Drew in landscaping. He also had a landscaping, which I think he still does.
Sure.
I worked with him doing landscaping for a while, and then after I got tired of that and went to X-ray school, so got tired of working outside. Anyways,
It's hot, dude.
Who
yeah.
wouldn't? Yeah, I did that before. It's
That's tough.
weed eating and riding a mower and doing all that all day long. Whew, man, you think
I was a
cutting
permanent weed eater, so yeah.
Ooh.
I was like, yeah, I got to get out of
You
here.
didn't
I got to
get
do
a chance to
something.
ride the
Did you
mower,
learn how
yeah.
to flip the thing up, flip it upside
Oh, yeah.
down? And,
Oh yeah,
that's a whole art.
it's
There's an art to
I
that.
believe it could be an Olympic sport.
And you couldn't, and you got to, and then when you walk backwards too, like
Yeah,
when you're going backwards and you're edging, edging is the right word. When you're edging backwards, you got to learn how to walk and not move your arms, and
yeah. You're basically
It's a
walking
whole-
backwards, holding it upside down.
it's a thing, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I
can't.
agree.
I still can't take the guard off. I know I'm going off in a little rabbit hole right here. I still can't take the guard off. Some people will take the guard off, and then you're like, you are a true weed eating artist.
That's the first thing I did when I bought my weed eater.
Took it off.
Took it off.
Why?
really?
Why would you take the guard off so you can see better?
You get longer string.
Yep.
Oh, I guess I didn't even think about that.
That guard chops the string
Yeah, it
off, and you
does.
can only get so much.
Yeah, it does. And
I
then
was
you're having
scared I
And
was
then
gonna
when
get
you're
hit in
weed
the
eating,
face.
I mean, when you're edging,
With a rock.
it eats that string
It
up,
sure
and then you're just
does.
constantly just bumping it.
Oh man, I'd never thought about that. I did not think I was going to learn that today.
Well, if you stand at a certain angle,
Yeah.
the debris swings away from you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm a professional.
That's awesome.
So if you stand at a
I
certain
knew
angle,
that.
it shoots it away.
Okay.
So you don't
You
get.
got to kind of watch.
Your
out.
I
legs
just
don't
forgot
get
about the
tore up.
guard having the weed eater string cutter on there.
Mhm.
Look,
I didn't even think about
at
that
any
being a
given
thing.
day, you might can catch me in my yard with Crocs on, weed eating,
That's,
and shorts.
well, you're just a redneck.
And look, it hurts. It hurts
Yeah.
me.
Well, I mean,
That's what I
But
wore.
but it makes you stronger.
Athletic shorts and Crocs. I could not wear jeans. I couldn't wear boots with socks.
So they have
Anything that would get wet, I can't walk around with wet socks.
an amazing product that's out now. It's called True Works pants, and they're like super light and moisture wicking. That's what I wear. I don't wear blue jeans anymore either.
Might have to look
So
into those.
maybe True Works
Huh.
will see this and give us a plug.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
Come on, True Works.
Yeah.
Give us a sponsor.
okay. So landscaping.
Out of rabbit hole.
Yeah, let me back us
I
out.
don't
So
even
la-
think landscaping was part of the question.
I
but
think.
No,
well, yeah, I
we
mean,
got into that.
yeah, it wasn't.
how I got into real estate with that.
Yeah, Drew, his
Yeah.
family, he
That's
had
right.
a landscape, and now we're back.
Yeah.
Okay. X-ray
So-
tech.
So I was doing music in my X-ray job. I was doing music pretty heavy,
Yeah.
and my wife is a RN now. At the time, she was in LPN school,
Okay.
and she was thinking of ways to do a little side job or something because she was having trouble getting into RN school. So she actually took real estate first. They had talked with Drew and Jessica, and she had talked with Drew and Jessica, and she was interested. So she started taking it, and then not everybody's able to pass the exam on the first time. So
Oh,
she
yeah.
took it one time and wasn't able to pass it. And
Decided
what do you
that
know?
wasn't
The
you.
next day or the next couple months, she got a letter that she got into RN school.
There you go.
Oh,
So,
well, that's perfect timing.
so she went to RN school, and I said, well, if you're not going to do real estate, I think I'm going to do it. So,
Yeah.
so I started taking the class, and I finished it up. Just doing it on my own here and there online when I could, waking up early, trying to get through those very entertaining lectures.
It's
Yeah,
tough.
the modules.
It's tough.
Were you self-taught? Did you do the self-class?
So I did. I had to do a lot. Because I'm.
The question is, did you do the self-taught?
I have mental disabilities, so I had to do a lot.
We prove this every day.
Yes, we do.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to the question.
But we have fun.
Were
but
you
yes, I did the in class.
So you were in class.
No. Time out. I did the in class and.
Oh, Lord.
So you did both.
I did the in class and online.
Okay.
class.
So he should know everything then.
I learned.
One would think.
I learned a lot.
Yeah.
I learned a lot, but
You
yeah.
have to learn some of it.
So I
twice.
did.
Yeah, exactly.
I did it on the self
Yeah.
learning modules too. And so you probably did like everybody else that we interview. Start out strong, kind of plateau, and you're like, crap, my test's coming up, and you like have to.
Actually, I let it expire.
Oh.
I
you
started
didn't
it. I did maybe 4 or 5 chapters. I said, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Finally, I was like, all right, I'm putting my nose down. I'm doing this. So I would start waking up 30 minutes early every day or an hour early every day and just sitting through the lectures, taking notes.
Yep.
And finally, it took me I actually had to pay to reactivate my course.
Yeah.
Because you only get, a year or 6 months?
You only get so long.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it is now, but
So-
there's a time limit.
Yeah, I only had like a month left, and I was like, there's no way I can do. So I called them. I said, can I get an extension? It was pay a little fee.
No.
You get a little 6-month extension, I think. So that was my motivation
There you go.
to finish it.
I think we said this before, and this is a great way to say it too. If anybody's looking to get into real estate, you have 2 options. You can do the self modules and go at your own pace, or you can do in class. If you can do in class, I would recommend it, because if you're a procrastinator like me, well, I mean, it makes you behold.
It
Some
depends
people,
on how you learn.
That's right.
It
but
has a lot to do with it, because
a lot of people.
It was terrible for me. The in class was terrible for me.
Well, the common denominator though is that we've had the most of. If you go back and look, is everybody who did the self classes or whatever, the self modules, start out pretty good, plateau, maybe let it expire, or like me, like, oh, I got a date coming up, and you go into cram mode because you let life get in the way. But if you can schedule, if you're more of a discipline and schedule everything, like, from 6 to 7, you got to go to whatever class. I just think it can keep you beholden to your time frame. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I think depending on how you learn. With me, the in class, like, I would tell somebody do the online stuff, and I can, if anybody wants to know, I can tell them specifically places where. But I did the in class. I sat on the front row, and I didn't learn squat.
I have trouble paying attention to
it. Was terrible.
Yeah.
Do they, so in the in
For
class,
me. Now, people pass it in there. I mean, a lot of people pass.
is there a physical teacher there lecturing you, or is it they put a video up?
So they'll get up there and they read the book to you, and you just gotta listen to them read the book.
You're
I can't
probably
learn
supposed
like
to
that
follow
either.
along in the book while they
I
read the
did,
book.
but
I can't learn like that. I can't read.
I can't either.
I can't listen to somebody talk.
So what
I have to
The
literally.
modules, at least the modules are interactive.
So what was cool about the online thing that I did, and is that what helped me with that? We may have taken the same one, but on my second attempt, giving myself away here. But what I like about it is that it'll have a short little video, and then you take a quiz. And so I'd watch the little short video, and I'd go, okay, let's see if I can remember everything I just watched. And if I couldn't remember, well, I could just go back and replay it again. So I'd replay the video again, which you can't do that in the class. In the class, once they say what they've said, that's it. You better have wrote notes down, and you better be a good note taker, or you just missed it. And so, and a lot of times I felt like they were in a time crunch, and so you had to hurry up and jot things down. And they would speed up towards the end, trying. So not saying that you can't do it that way. Obviously, you can, and doing the in-class thing, but the way I learned, it was not good for me. So I would say it just depends on how you learn, because if you can go back to that online thing and replay the video over and then take the quiz, that's where I freaking
Yeah.
skyrocketed.
Yeah.
You know.
I would just write, like if it was a highlighted point, I would just write it down in my notebook.
Yep.
And that's how I would
Yeah.
learn. Because I can't sit there and just listen and, not write something down.
Yeah.
I feel like me writing is me absorbing
taking
it,
it-
taking
yeah,
it in
yeah.
twice.
Yeah.
Taking notes is definitely beneficial.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that, I mean, I did enjoy the interactive modules.
I wasn't trying to stomp on you saying that the
I felt like you did, but whatever. I didn't. But here's the deal.
I felt like I
didn't-
was too. That's why I want to
no,
apologize. I wasn't
no,
trying.
There's
to.
no need to
So
apologize.
what's-
I didn't take the in class either, but I'm
What's-
just saying I think if you need a timeline and
Yeah,
keep
yeah,
on a timeline, that's
yeah.
the best. That's probably a plus. For you.
Sure.
The one that you did, was it 2 weeks every
Yeah.
day for 2 weeks?
Yep.
It just doesn't seem like enough time, in my opinion.
It's
'cause
a lot of information.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, you had to be there every day, every weekday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if
think
you, I mean,
I was
some people
going-
don't have a schedule where they can do that. If
Yeah.
they've got because real estate ain't one of those things where you just get into it and you start making money. Like it takes a year.
Yeah, was that a big shock for you when you came in? So like so you're doing your X-ray deal, right? You're playing gigs on the side. You
Yeah.
got your music, and then you get into real estate. And I think there's a misconception we kind of often talk about. The people just think you're a realtor and you make a lot of
Yeah.
money
Yeah.
really quickly.
Well,
So-
I knew going into it that it was definitely commission based, but
Yeah.
I kind of thought it would catch on quicker.
Yeah.
I thought just if I made one Facebook post that people would be DMing me
Oh,
and
yeah.
say, "Hey,
Yeah.
we're getting ready
Me
to
too.
sell. If you want to
Yeah.
list it for us."
Me too.
I laugh because I can relate.
Me too.
I think most people can. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would think, like I find out all the time, like you would think that the people closest to you would like use you or whatever, but a lot of people that are close to you don't want you knowing their financials,
Mm-hmm.
and so they're like, man, I love this guy, I want to use him, but I don't know if I want them to know my.
I think it's a couple of things.
Financials.
Well, I think it's that, and I think also too, and I learned this in getting back into insurance sales. Some people just want to make sure you stick.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
yeah, I can see that.
in insurance, when you're dealing with people's protecting their things that matter the most, like
Mhm.
shelter and vehicles and family, if you got life insurance, whatever, like it's a big deal like real estate.
Yeah.
Real estate's one of the biggest transactions. You hear it all the time,
Sure.
like
Mhm.
people will make. So my belief is I agree.
Yeah.
There are some people get weirded out by like, well, I don't want them to see, like we're really good friends, but I don't want
Yeah.
them to see behind all the curtains.
Yeah.
But then I think there's other stigma to it because I've learned this in both businesses is that, and being finally, getting, I feel like we are all still grinding and earning stripes, and I think that it will continue to be a grind. But I feel like I'm also starting to get to the point in my real estate and insurance career where I'm getting over the harder parts, like where people tend to fall out. And I think what I've learned is now people that are closer to me that you would consider your sphere of influence, which by the way, I hate being salesy too.
Yeah.
Just me.
Yeah.
They kind of come back to you naturally.
Yeah.
Some still won't because they're like love
Yeah.
them, but I still don't. If they're going through something, I get it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I think it's just more of a
Yeah, you're right.
making sure you stick,
Yeah.
and not going to be in the industry one day and out the next night.
Yeah, see, I kind of agree with that too because I've had a couple, friends, acquaintances, or whatever, that I've talked to about listing their house, and they end up using the agent that they used on the previous transaction.
Yeah.
So they do show loyalty
Yeah.
sometimes to their previous agents. I guess obviously if they did a good job or whatever, they probably have more experience. That's another thing about being new to the business.
It's
I feel
hard.
like a lot of people don't want to use you because you're still new. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a flip side to it. I think David Ostrander kind of told us this.
Yeah.
We talked to him about like the new people, like the way that he would shuffle it is great that you're going to use Ryan. He's super busy, but I mean, I'm a professional in this too, but I also have the time to commit more to you versus, and so you kind of spin it that way or whatever, but it's still hard. And going out there and saying particular things, like I'm still new at this is a no-no.
Yeah.
And
I like the term "fake it till you make it."
I was, yeah.
Make it till you make it.
I like
Yeah.
that.
I like that, but also I also like to be
Let's-
upfront with them, and you'd be like, "This is
Don't
the first
lie-
time
don't
I've
lie
dealt
to
with
them.
this,
Yeah.
but don't worry, I'm going to
But
talk
you
to my
know-
broker.
Yeah.
We'll figure this out."
Full transparency always wins,
Absolutely.
in my opinion, anyway. Because
100%.
even having whether you've got 1 year or 5 years or 10 years, you're going to run across something where you're like, either you just don't remember and you've dealt with it before, and it's been a long time, or it's a new thing to everybody. Like, I don't know, but we'll figure it out together. I think if you just keep the lines of communication open,
Yep.
it solves itself.
Yeah, I
Old
think
Gary
that's a big
Parker,
thing.
when he was on, I love what he said. He said, I've been in this for 49 years, and he said, there's still times when I tell my clients, I don't know.
Yeah.
And he said, and that's okay.
Be okay telling people that you don't know, but you'll find out.
Yep.
Yeah, because I've had friends tell me, we use such and such, and everything was fine, but we found out that he didn't know what he was talking about, or she didn't know what she was talking about.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
I think so, for sure.
Yeah.
So, me and you had almost a deal together, I guess. You went and looked at one of my listings, so I got to talk to you a little bit. But how's it been since? So, how long have you been, I guess, in the game?
I'm coming up on 2 years.
There you go. Okay,
So,
great.
yeah.
So, you first year's the hardest, second's
Yeah.
a little
I think-
harder.
I think it might have been 6 months into my first year before I had a closing, so it was slow to start, and then I had 3 or 4 in a row.
And you're like, holy cow,
And
here
I
it
was like,
comes.
this is it. I'm fixing to quit my job.
Yep. And then,
Then also,
And then what happened?
yeah.
that roller coaster. of
And
real estate.
then the beginning of this year, same thing, 3 in a row. January, February, March, and now it's just kind of all right. Where'd everybody go?
It's funny how I think this is one thing about us putting this type of stuff out there. If you go back, it is very up and down. It's a roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
I think the trick is trying to figure out, and all realtors, all brokers talk about, building the pipeline for the future to get the consistency. It's harder than what people think.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I first got in the business, I was the opposite. I came out and I don't know, man, I had like 4 or 5 listings out the gate.
Right.
And I was like, this is easy.
Yeah.
Worst thing you could ever say.
I got those things out the way and I was like,
What now?
what happened? I
Yeah.
was the same way. So I came out sort of really hot for a new agent. And then I went a long time without selling another one, and it really humbled me very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But you go in those stints. So fast forward to this year, my first quarter, I was telling her, I'm never going to sell a house again. I just came off one of my
What am I doing?
best years in real estate last year, coming into this year's first quarter, and it was crickets. And I was like, how? I felt like the ball was finally getting into the more consistent range. And then we were starting to get out of the first quarter, and now, hair's on fire again. So it's just, I just deem it like ride the wave when you got it and figure out a way to market that and set yourself, because we're going to have slow times.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean nothing's ever going to come back around either. So.
Well, it made me feel better, after our first year or the end of the 2024 year. That I think they said that's one of the slowest years since maybe the 90s or so. I can't remember exactly, but
Yeah.
apparently it was a slow year for everybody. So that made me feel a little bit better.
Yeah, we've ever since I've come into the real estate industry,
It can be an injury.
I felt injured a couple times.
Yeah.
Ever since I got into it, I don't think I have been in what like legit tenured agents would call like a normal market at all.
Yeah.
I came in and I think when I came in, I got a like a little taste of it, and then went. COVID was kind of quickly after that.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was something crazy before COVID. I can't remember. Then the COVID thing happened, and now we're all just trying to put COVID in the rearview mirror,
And get our clients, get our new selling clients to believe that we're not still in that market too.
Yeah.
They're like, man, my house was gonna sell, and we're gonna have 15 offers come in.
Yeah.
I'm like, time out. The market is way different now.
Yeah. And it still all
Slow
depends
down a
on the
little bit.
micro markets too. But then, and now appraisals, I've had some appraisals come in under. So now I feel like we're
That's
starting.
been a common thing we've been hearing.
I haven't dealt with that yet, thankfully, but
Yeah, I just had another agent. I've got a deal going right now, and we're under contract. And before we were doing some negotiating, we were talking about making the offer price, the sale price, higher so that they could kind of put some of their closing costs into their mortgage, kind of make it all work. And I said, I don't know. That's kind of scary because if we go up too high and it comes in, and that's just knowing where the market is and what's going on. But I had to say, I'm sorry, I don't think that's a good idea. Let me check my client and make sure and explain to them. But my client was on board too. They said, no, that's kind of scary because if it doesn't appraise, then
you're just starting all over.
Yeah. And we already, this is our second time. We had another contract and we got almost to closing on this deal and it fell through because of financing. So
yeah, you just never know what you're going to run into.
They're already a little bit leery.
Yeah.
You had any wild stories in your 2 years or any just crazy, like, man, I can't believe this happened in a real estate deal without saying names and addresses?
Nothing too crazy. Just, I don't know. Nothing I can probably say without making it obvious.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's fair. Talk about that offline.
Yeah.
So I do want to get into. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I'm just gonna say I think the longer, everybody runs into wild and crazy.
Yeah.
Real estate is one thing.
We have some crazy stories that have happened that we talk about. And we're like, okay, this is going on a podcast. One day.
We got a list of them. We just can't. I think we need to get some time on them too. You know what I mean? And we don't want to out anybody.
Some of them are too fresh. Yeah, you don't want to put anybody.
It's just things that happen in the deal, and you're like, wow, I didn't see that happen, or did that really just happen, or I don't know.
Well, a lot of people don't know anything about real estate or the transactions or how it works, which is one thing I've learned is because sometimes I'll realize that I'm not thorough enough when I'm explaining stuff to people. So when they're like, well, what is this? What am I paying for this for? You know? It's like, I guess I could have explained that a little bit better. That's my fault.
But that's a learning. But you learned. You know what I mean? I mean, that's how you do it. I mean, speaking of being new, new agents have to get deals. I mean, you can read all the books you want, and we have to take continuing education. But I mean, everybody says it. Like the way you learn this business is boots on the ground, being at the table, and making the mistakes. And it just happens, a part of the process, and that's how we learn, and it's how we get better. So I don't think that's I think just take that as like, hey, that's growth, you know?
It hurt me to say, I'm sorry, I did not communicate that well enough. But, you know, it's a learning curve. So now from now on, it's going to be a thing that I do with my clients is I'm going to go over all the numbers before we get to closing table. Or before we sign any deals. So.
I think one thing that I learned being in real estate is that I don't enjoy watching the real estate TV shows anymore because I feel like it's not that I do still get entertained by them. Like I still like to watch, even me, I get caught up in like, you know, the selling sunsets, $1 million listing, flipping this house when I don't have anything, some downtime. But what I've learned in the real world is it makes it more difficult with our actually real life clients because a lot of people watch that stuff.
Well, they watch, I was going to say they watch.
And it really does not portray the real life, especially in Mississippi, you know. And so that's just a whole totally different thing. So that's one thing where I'm like, I'm not as gung-ho about those shows. They're not as cool as I used to think they were.
Well, what I've seen on some of them lately is they're 10 or 15 years old. So it's like, here's this 2,000 square foot, 4-bedroom, two-bed house for $130,000.
Yeah, like the reruns or whatever.
Yeah, I don't think you can find that anywhere anymore. But
just double that price now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's true. Where were you going?
Like, well, Chip and Joanna found this house for $130.
Yeah, I know.
Y'all gonna think I'm crazy, but I was very jealous last year when our producer, aka my wife Sarah, went with my mom to go to Chip and Joanna Gaines' place.
Oh yeah.
Oh, John go there?
She stayed in their hotel.
Come on, the silos?
No, the new one.
Oh, I didn't even know they had a hotel.
I thought they had the silos like office thing and that thing they like built up over there.
If we still got some pictures of that, we'll post them up on here for people watching.
Sorry, Zach, we're taking over your podcast.
Sorry,
we're good.
But it was anyway. I would love to go. I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah,
I think the world of them.
I think that would be a cool place to go see
people.
for sure. Yeah.
I love how they're real and authentic about what they do and everything. That just speaks volumes to me.
Yeah.
Well,
I think they got to a point where they don't even want to be famous anymore. They just want to be, make their living and raise their kids
I could see that.
out of the spotlight.
I can see that. I think if you get to that point, there's probably a limit to how much you want to handle, and you just want to be you and
Been
have a
able-
normal life.
Yeah, be able to walk around without.
Yeah. I mean, I got their books, their cookbooks in my kitchen. You know,
I do think I'd be friends with Chip though.
Chip is
Oh,
pretty funny.
Yeah.
He'd be a cool one to hang out with.
Yeah. Anywho,
For sure. Well, let's talk about. I want to get into your music
Music.
stuff some
Yeah.
more. You know where I was going with
oh
that,
yeah,
didn't you?
I've been waiting on it. We were just saying
So-
before the thing started, we should have had the intro
Should've-
music to the
Should have
voice.
brought some
Yeah.
guitars and
Man,
rocked
I'm so glad I didn't bring mine.
out. Well, so you were on The Voice.
Well, hold
I
on
mean,
a second.
Yeah.
Well, voice, yes, but 20 is when he started playing guitar. I want to know what made you pick up X-band player, trumpet. You get baseball's
Okay,
done.
we'll
How
go
did
back.
you
Yeah.
decide one day, like, you know what, I got a pretty good voice. I'm gonna start learning how to play some G chords, C chords, Z chords, D chords, all that
I
stuff.
never said I think I have a pretty good voice.
Oh.
It was more of a I like to learn how to play the guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guitar looks cool. Chicks
Yeah.
like guys that play guitar.
Sure.
I was 20, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Had a lot of stamina.
Yeah. I actually picked it up.
I don't even know what that means. Anyway,
Well,
With
yeah.
guitar.
Yeah,
young,
guitar,
Young
yeah.
20. Yeah. All right. But yeah, I actually took my dad's guitar. He bought one because he was going to learn how to play. My dad plays keyboard by ear. So
Wow,
that's kind of where I
that's a talent.
get my musical gene from, I guess.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
He had bought a guitar, but like most people, my fingers are too fat. I can't play it.
Yeah.
So I took his guitar up to Holmes with me. I think I was there. No, I think it might have been when I went to Southern. I went to Southern after I went to Holmes.
Okay.
And so I took it up to Hattiesburg with me. I had a job. Everybody was home for school. I was up there by myself working. And so I just picked it up, started learning, and called on. And at that point, it was like I was the guy with the guitar. I never really sang much, though, at first. So people were probably just like, would you just sing something or like quit playing it?
Yeah.
But eventually I started recording myself singing.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, I thought it would be a good idea to post it on social media. And
You're like, I'm taking the leap.
yep.
Post
Of
it.
course, there's always 2 or 3 people that's going, oh, you sound really good. You sound really
Yeah.
good. But now, listening back 13 years ago or whenever it was, I didn't have any business posting me singing on. But, luckily I got bit by the bug.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to do was just play guitar and sing. So I did that. I started playing gigs like 2 years later. Moved back home after I graduated, started playing around town here, posting on social media more and more and more. And
Yep. Built your
That's-
following.
Yep, built my following, and then that's kind of when the voice thing happens. So.
With it. Okay, first of all, real life, real talk.
Yeah.
We got a lawnmower that's killing me in the background
This,
right
here,
here.
you want, with the float, 32-bit float. that we
Okay,
have,
good.
you
All
want
right.
that
Well,
here.
I didn't know if people were. If y'all are
We're
listening
gonna
to
have to
this,
cut
this
this
is just.
part out now, Trip.
I'm sorry.
I was
Anyway,
wondering
I'm
about
just
that.
kidding. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
We got
Yeah.
noise cancellation.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, look, this is a nice setup. So
you won't be able to hear.
I just didn't know if that was. Anyway, this is real life, real talk.
Real
estate.
life.
I mean, yeah.
Anyway,
no
so
edits.
Yeah,
when
back-
you started learning, no lessons, you did it on your own.
Mhm.
Okay, so everybody knows that you go YouTube and find a G chord,
That's pretty much it.
strum
YouTube
to
You
you.
is
type in whatever
awesome.
song you want to learn. This is for anybody wanting to learn how to play guitar.
100%.
Type a song in, how to play
Acoustic.
Freebird,
Yeah.
whatever song you want to learn.
Yeah.
And there's Marty Schwartz is on there. He's like
Oh,
the
yeah.
well-known
Marty
guy.
Schwartz. is
Oh,
on
Marty
Marty.
Schwartz.
Marty
But there's
knows
probably
everything.
100 other people doing it
There's
as well.
this guy I
and they show
follow.
you note for
Yeah.
note how to play.
There's a guy I follow. He's out of North Carolina. He's a country song teacher. Can't remember his name right
Probably,
now,
yeah.
but he's like in construction. He'll be in this construction trailer. He'll do stuff. He does a lot of song variations, a lot of country, but he also has another side where he has another YouTube channel. He does like modernized or gospel and just contemporary church songs too.
Yeah.
So he has a very big variety. But you're right. You can go in there. So that's what you did,
Yep.
and we got really good at playing the guitar. And
I
then
would say I'm really good. I can play chords.
yeah. Well, you're better than
Play
me.
chords.
I was watching, and I was like, yeah. This
A lot of people think when you say you play guitar that you're
oh yeah,
playing
like
lead
playing
solos
scales and
stuff.
burning
like
it
that.
up.
Nah,
Yeah.
I don't play that. I play chords, just
Yeah.
like as if you was playing the chords on the
Yeah.
piano. It's the same thing. On
So
the
you can
guitar.
sing to it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
Just a
cool.
little rhythm guitar.
That's
is what
the way
I
I
what you
am.
call it.
So you built a following. I want to know, like, did you have friends or family like, hey man, you need to go
Who talked
apply
you
for the
in?
voice, or how do you even do it?
Did you just say I want to do this? Or
Well,
I think I should try.
I always thought it would be cool to do it.
Yeah.
And so my wife was my girlfriend at the time. We had talked about it a couple times, and she said, I'm going to create you an account for The Voice, and then if you ever want to, you can just go try out if they ever get close enough or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so she did, and I'm thinking that's kind of how because they found me on social media. They messaged me on my Instagram.
Oh, The Voice did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Cool.
So they have a casting company that's
Yeah.
strictly just like talent search, basically.
Scout.
That's cool.
Yeah. So the lady reached out to me. I Googled her name just to make sure she
Like
was
being
legit.
scammed.
Yeah. And so I think she sent me her email. So I ended up setting up a interview / tryout or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was like it's basically instead of the thing where you go and wait in line all day and
Yeah.
thousands of people, it was basically like the next step from there.
Yeah.
They call it a private audition.
Mm.
You basically schedule it. It's like 30-minute time slots. If you do good on your songs, they'll hold you a little bit longer and do like interviews, see how you do on camera and that kind of stuff.
Oh, cool.
So
it's a different process than what they put on TV.
oh yeah,
Ish.
you wouldn't even believe it's
Yeah.
not even anything close to what.
Well, they got to have the entertainment that portion of it,
Yeah.
I guess.
So the way they film it, they
Yeah.
make it look like you came off the street
Yeah.
and you just walked up on stage, but
Yeah.
that is not it at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I was there probably 4 weeks before I ever got in front of the judges.
You had to go. So where did you travel to? Was it Nashville or?
Burbank. Well, for my first tryout, I went to Nashville.
Yeah.
I had a friend that lived there, so I went up there and slept on his couch, and tried out that morning. Drove back the next day, and they called me a few weeks later. Hey, we want you to come to LA. I was like,
Okay.
what? All right. They
What
fly
is
you
LA?
out there. And
Where is
everything,
that at? What
pay
is
for
that?
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that Louisiana?
Yeah.
I'd go to
Man,
Louisiana.
I'm right next door.
I'll just drive.
I don't need an airplane to go to Louisiana.
So you met my friend Blake Shelton.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just kidding. He's not my friend.
Yeah. How cool
He's
was it?
everybody's friend.
Yeah, I'm
He's so friendly.
He's cool.
So he turned his chair on you.
Yep.
All right. I'm skipping. So
No,
you
yeah.
did the thing. So how do you, so they called you back to LA, and was that the filmed?
So when they call you back, when they call you to LA for the first time, it's in front of the executives,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's NBC.
Mm.
So you're not even in front of NBC until you get called out to LA.
Yeah.
Then they decide who they want to keep. So it goes from like 300 or 400 people to like 150 or 200 people. And so once you're out there, they tell you before you leave whether you're coming back or not.
You had to make a lot of cuts before you even got to the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So you have the open call, then you get the private audition, then you get the executive, then you fly out for the big thing.
Yeah.
And there's like, I think it was 200 or 300 contestants in this hotel we're staying at. So you can imagine everywhere you go, there's people sitting around in circles with guitars,
Oh yeah.
and everybody's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh my God, I'm never gonna make it on. They'll never turn their chair for me.
Yeah.
That guy was good.
That guy's gonna win this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I imagine you made a lot of. I mean, do you keep up with some of the people you met?
Some of them, yeah. Not too many of them. But, I had a little group of about 4 or 5 people that I
Yeah.
still kind of keep up with.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I gotta imagine it was a little. I mean, I get nervous before we do this thing. I can't imagine you doing all that. I mean, how are the nerves, or do you just get to a point where like I've done this? I played in gigs, and
No, it wasn't like that at all. I was like, this is
this is crazy.
we're not in Mississippi anymore.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
I just got used to the cameras and the lights, whatever. It was a lot of sitting around because there's 300 people.
Yeah.
So I might sit in a hotel room for 4 days before I have to do anything.
Oh my gosh.
So they do interviews. You got a vocal coach. You got a choreographer. It's basically just to make sure you don't look like an idiot on stage.
Yeah.
Not necessarily that you're learning how to dance, but
Yeah.
Right.
Just how to move.
yeah, just moving, working the stage, using
Yeah.
the stage, doing something with your hands. You
Oh,
know?
I'm terrible with that.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was a lot of really, lot of really cool things that you learned in that time with stage presence and
Yeah.
all that.
Well, you said vocal coaches. So before you went to The Voice and you learned when you picked up a guitar, and you even said, "Well, nobody told me I had a great voice," or I didn't think you, or you said I wasn't thinking about your voice at that point. You weren't. Did you do any vocal training before, or did you just kind of
the same way I did guitar? I would honestly, I'd look up, I would listen to a video, and I'd say, oh, "That sounded like crap. How do I sing louder or sing clearer or?" How do I hit higher notes or something?
Yeah.
I literally YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
And there would always be a vocal coach or something on there teaching you how. Yeah. But I really did learn a lot from the vocal coaches in California. Yeah. They're world class vocal coaches.
Yeah.
So I can't remember their names, but
they were really cool.
Really helpful.
So you go through all these cuts, and then they're like, "Hey man, congratulations, you're going to
made it to LA."
I made it. So I spent 4 weeks in LA, and then the last that fourth week is the actual tryouts. So they start on Monday.
That's when they start filming the stuff you see on TV.
Yeah. You've got your outfit picked out. You wear it every day for 4. Well, no, I think they let you know the day before. Okay. So day 1, they round the day before day 1, they round everybody up. Such and such. These people are going tomorrow.
Yeah.
Wasn't me. Day 2, these people are going tomorrow. Wasn't me. Day 3, these people are going tomorrow. Wasn't me.
The suspense.
And you're like, is I even going?
Yeah.
So I'm like, they're going to be full by the time I get to go up. And so finally, day 4, I'm going.
Yeah.
And so I went and hung around Universal Studios all day waiting on my audition. Finally, they called us in. There's like little stages, green rooms you're hanging out in until you go on. And they finally called me up, and at this point, we all knew because we were texting. All right, such and such got 1 spot. I think when I went up, Blake had 1 spot and John had 1 spot. All the other teams were full, so there was only 2, maybe 3 spots. I can't remember.
Yeah.
No, John didn't have a spot because I can remember him saying, I would have turned, but my team's full or whatever.
Yeah.
So it was Blake and Gwen, I think.
Yeah.
So they both turned their chairs.
They're 2 awesome people, I'm sure.
Oh, man, yeah. They were super fun.
Well, so I saw it. And so you go out there and you start singing, and you sang a Blake Shelton song.
Yeah.
Was that on purpose?
Well,
you're like, you know what? I'm going for Blake. I'm going to sing one of Blake's songs.
It actually wasn't the plan. They wanted me to sing. They kind of choose what they want you to sing. Because you got to have, it's a TV show. You got characters. You got one to fit your country role, one to fit your this role, pop country, traditional country, whatever. And they wanted me to sing a Chase Rice song. I can't even remember the name of it now, but it was a really poppy kind of talking country, like Sam Hunt kind of does. Mm-hmm. And I called, the person that was, above me. I said, I don't like this song. I said, I'm trying it. I said, I just don't like it. Is there any way I can do something else? And he was like, well, do you have anything in mind? We saw that you did Old Red at one of your auditions. I don't think anybody's ever done that before. If you want to do that. I was like, yes, that would be.
Yes, please.
That would be awesome because that's one of the first songs I ever learned, to sing.
So you knew it, comfortable with it.
I was very comfortable with it.
Blake song.
And I was confident with that one. I think that's a main thing.
Yeah.
Is like I've sang it, for several years at this point. Very confident with it. Yeah. It's kind of bluesy, kind of, shows the good parts of my vocals. Yeah, so sure. I was like, yeah, that's the one. I said, I don't know if this is stupid or not. I don't know if it's brave or stupid, but
it made you more comfortable to do it.
Yeah.
Sure. I just want to know, so you go out there and you start singing it. What's it like? I mean, it's got to be hard to sing when you're anticipating a chair turn, and then when one does, if one turn, I'd be like, mic drop, I did it. I'd forget to keep singing or something. You know what I mean? How was that experience, my bad, Ryan? How was that experience when?
It was all a big blur at this point. And I kind of blacked out because I don't know if you'll see after the stage. All I can say is thank you.
That was excitement.
I was like starstruck. When I don't even think I was looking at the judges because I was trying to focus on my vocals.
Just make sure I don't mess up.
Yeah, sure. and they do have a live audience, but it's so dark that you can't see anybody. The lights are so bright.
Yeah,
and I can remember him hitting it and just being relieved. Mm-hmm. But then I was like, all right, I still got to sing. So I kept singing, and then Gwen turned. And that's the first time I was actually starstruck because Gwen Stefani.
She was standing up dancing.
Yeah, and just her gold outfit. I
Yeah.
mean, she's actually 50 years old. Did
That's
y'all know that?
crazy.
I
did
She
not
does
know
not.
that.
She looks like she's 30.
I still remember Gwen as being
No
this
doubt.
rock star,
Yeah.
no
No
doubt, and just being, just
Yeah.
a rock star.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
never thought she would be where she is now, especially married to Blake Shelton. I would have never
Yeah.
in a million years
No.
put those two together.
No,
So,
same.
No, but yeah, she
so
was.
you were starstruck from when
I
she
was
stood up.
starstruck when Gwen turned around. I mean, I can just picture it. It's like everything else was black, and there was just this beam of light down on her, and she had this, of course, blonde hair and just
Yep.
this gold dress on, and
She looked like a superstar.
yeah.
Yeah.
Old Blake just looked
Old
like
Blake
where's
looked
my
like
drink
somebody
at?
we'd drink beer and go deer camp with.
Exactly.
Right, yeah.
And that's
A good
exactly
old
what
boy.
he is too.
Yeah,
Good
ain't no
old
doubt.
boy.
Yeah, that's the personality he seems to give off anyway.
Yeah.
So,
That's probably the number one question I get.
is
When
he
people-
is
when
he
pe-
legit that
Yeah.
way?
Is Blake really that nice all the
Yeah.
time? And he is.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Which we didn't get to hang out with him, go to their house or nothing. But,
Yeah.
I've got to
just
hang out
kinda-
with him. He's pretty cool now.
Yeah.
Oh my God, here we go.
I mean,
I'm just kidding.
legit though, like behind the scenes, how we were earlier, kind of just hanging out.
Yeah.
The sound guys, up there messing with his mic and stuff,
Yeah.
and he's like pinching him while he's down there, and, just messing around. Just, he's fun.
That's a
That's awesome.
great experience, man.
Yeah.
I mean, do you?
That's
Like-
that's a hard one to top.
I mean,
I mean,
I've
being
never
on The Voice,
done anything like
being
that.
on TV, that's really a cool
Yeah.
experience.
you can
I'm
take
sure.
that. There's a lot of people who don't get that opportunity, and you
Yeah.
got it.
Mhm.
You can talk about that forever. And you got video. You got YouTube proof. People
Yeah.
well,
Let me
look at
ask
your
you this.
YouTube to learn how to play guitar now.
Let me ask you this: Have you ever thought about trying to do it again?
No.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Like after The Voice,
I was
did
just
you
curious.
did you
Yeah.
think like I'm gonna go try to like pursue singing or writing or whatever?
If when my kids are grown, if I'm still under the age limit, or if there is, I might. I don't know.
Yeah.
I love music and I love what I do, but now with my kids at home,
Yeah.
It changes.
we
things, doesn't
even
it?
contemplated before COVID, and which we kind of found out we were pregnant while I was in LA, and so that kind of changed my mindset a little bit on everything. But we were contemplating moving to Nashville to try to pursue it,
Yeah.
and then COVID hit, and then of course we had the baby,
Yeah.
and so thankful that we
Things
didn't.
change
now.
and life changes. And
Yeah.
It was a great experience. I probably wouldn't do it again right now,
Yeah.
but once in a lifetime type of thing.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like music, just for me being a musician myself, I don't play around town. I used to years ago, but it's one of those things where you do it because you love it, and you're still probably going to always pick up the
Yeah.
guitar, always play, whether you're playing for your kids or
Yeah.
just playing
Family,
and you too.
friends.
Yeah, you're always going to do it. So, I mean, you don't have to be famous to do what you love. You don't have to. It's cool if you can do that and have those experiences, but it's
Yeah.
not about that. It's about the love of the music. And
Yeah. Well, you still
do it.
putting out music content? Speaking of that, like love, I mean, you still record-
Content, yes. I haven't, put out any new music in a couple years. Mainly just no time to write or record anymore.
It gets harder,
Yeah,
especially you get more involved. I mean, you got a full time, and you got
Yeah,
Real estate.
Yeah, real estate, and that can obviously
yeah.
take you away from a lot of things when you
I
get
got too
rock and
many
roll.
irons in the fire. Yes.
Yeah.
That's what, and my wife will tell you, with music now, especially with the third kid, it's
Can't imagine.
it's getting tough. So thank God for grandparents. If y'all are listening, we love y'all. We
Yes.
appreciate y'all.
for sure.
Grandparents are a big plus.
Yes.
I'll throw another little added thing to music too that I just recently experienced with my kids. My little boy, he kind of, and my girls too. They want to play music too, but they've really started taking an interest in it. So just sitting down with my boy in my lap and him learning to play a D chord,
Yeah.
and him strumming it and it actually making a D
Yeah.
sound, and you going, wow, this is really cool.
Yeah.
That takes on a whole nother aspect to
Oh, yeah.
being a musician, and then now you're getting to pass it down to your kids.
Yeah.
And say, all right, have fun with this. There's that option if you ever want to pursue it, you can. But this is something that you can do the rest of your life,
Mhm.
and this guitar will probably be yours when
Yeah.
I'm gone.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Extra thing there too with it.
I didn't.
So
Yeah, you talk about the passing down. I have my grandfather's Fender,
Oh, that's cool.
acoustic, and I have my dad's guitar, and then I have my own. But I have 3 generations of
That's awesome.
Nice.
acoustic guitars on the wall that, I mean, I'll never get rid of them because they mean too much. And the funny thing is, I really never heard my granddaddy play a whole lot because when I got older, it just wasn't feasible for him anymore. I heard my dad a little bit, and then he got arthritis in the hands, and then he never really pushed it. I kind of like you. I was probably a junior in high school. I was like, I think this would be pretty cool to do.
Yeah.
I didn't really have, I don't know if YouTube was really up and going at that point. I actually started with lessons.
Yeah.
And then hated it, just like piano lessons back in the day when I thought I wanted to do that. But then, so I got it from lessons and just kind of quit. And then I got buddies that did it, and I kind of piddled with them and listened and watched them. And then when YouTube really came up, that's when I really kind of So I've done all my stuff off. If you want to, you're right. If you want to learn something, you can do it that quick.
I'm sitting here thinking about the stories that those guitars could tell.
Oh man, ain't no telling.
If they could talk, that'd be cool.
One of them's been at deer camp a lot. And I was younger, so I don't know.
Some of the stories you may not want to tell.
Yeah, some of the stories probably weren't for youngins' ears, but anyway.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, my kids aren't quite old enough to start learning the guitar.
Yeah.
But my oldest one, I've noticed lately, she'll be singing along. Or
Yeah.
when I get stuck on a song, I'll sing it for like a week or 2 straight. So I've noticed lately she's been singing a little Keith Whitley around the house. So I'm like,
Do yours ever tell you to shut up? Mine tell me all the time. They're like, because I'll do it 15 times. I'll play the song 15 times. They're like, I don't want to ever hear that song again, ever.
Nah.
And I'm like, why? It's a good song. Maybe it's because
I feel like I could take that in a different
Maybe
direction.
I'm terrible. Maybe I'm terrible at it, and they're like, you got to quit singing this.
Well, I think my thing is I do it. I've done it for so long, for a side job, basically.
Yeah.
I don't do it much when I'm at home. The guitar is usually on the wall.
Yeah.
Every now and then when they're in the bath, I'll go in there and grab one and, sing a couple songs while they're in the bath. But
I still tell myself, and I've got a little set list that I've made, and I keep saying to myself that I'm gonna get back out there one day and start playing again. And I keep telling myself I'm gonna do it, and then I don't. And then life's just busy with kids, just like you, everybody. I keep saying I'm gonna do it, and then I don't, and I just sit there. And that's my problem, is that my audience is my kids, and so they hear it so much. They're like, Dad, you got to shut up. We're trying to watch TV. I'm like, come on, man. Y'all know this is awesome. Let's rock out.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's my experience lately.
Yeah. So the gigs you're still doing around town?
yeah, I'm trying to do the ones where I can be home by 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
I don't do the late night stuff anymore.
Yeah.
The easy restaurant type stuff. Just,
Which makes
with the kids,
Sure.
I try to, which I'm not much help when getting home at 10 because they're usually asleep by then. But
Right.
if I go to bed at 2 a.m. and have to wake up at 6:30
That's
with
tough.
them, that's when it starts getting rough.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a tight spot to be in.
Yeah, no doubt.
So.
That's an awesome story.
Yep. Thank
The
you so
voice.
Yep.
I'll probably never interview anybody else or talk to anybody else that's been on The Voice.
You'd be surprised. Now, I don't know. I mean, there's several people from Mississippi that have been on American Idol and The Voice and stuff. I think there was a girl from Meridian that was on it.
This was that was recent.
A couple years ago.
Recent year.
Well, Mississippi's got a lot of talent, man. I mean, it's just, we're not that far from Tennessee and Nashville and whatever, and there's a lot of people here that have great voices and great musical abilities. And I want to hear Ryan's old school. I think he's more country and slowed down, but I want to hear the screaming heavy metal, whatever, rock and roll Ryan.
Yeah.
Producer wife over there was like, no, you don't.
She's like, no. That was
We'll have to dig up some old dirt. Yeah.
Just for once a year, just do a reunion band show.
That was definitely a time in my life. I mean, I was having fun.
Yeah.
I
just want to hear that voice
fun to me
screaming on
then
that
ain't
microphone.
fun to me now.
Yeah. I hear that.
But I did have a lot of fun. I had a lot of cool experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing like The Voice. I didn't be on The Voice. I did.
You can pretend though.
Man, fake it till you make it.
Where do you want, man? Tell people how to find you, dude.
Yeah. On social media.
Yeah, plug away whatever. I mean, real estate, musical gigs, or just, hey, here's my social media.
I'm on Facebook, Zach Bridges. Send me a friend request. Follow me, Zach Bridges Music on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'm on. If it's social media, I'm on it.
Yeah.
I do have a realtor page, Zach Bridges, Evans Premier Properties.
Phone numbers.
769-241-5334. My cell phone is 601-953-0404.
There you go.
And you can call or text.
There you go.
Be happy to help you.
We're always available. It's really well. Good luck, man.
Zach,
Pursuing the real estate career too.
Appreciate
man.
it.
Yeah. Thank you.
I
It's gonna
appreciate
be
y'all
good.
having me. It's been fun hanging out. And
Yeah.
Thank you for taking the time to
enjoyed
do this and
this
let
was
us
good.
get to know you better. And it's been great.
Yeah.
For sure.
Take us out of here,
All right.
dude.
Thank y'all so much for watching this episode or listening to it. Please do not forget to subscribe, and y'all go check out our boy Zach over here and,
That's right.
and give him a like. And we appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. God bless.